Hey guys! Today we're going to talk about how I teach history and what we are using this year. So to teach history, which is my favorite subject to teach and to learn about at this point, we use a spine, which is our main resource for the year that kind of guides our studies. We use supplemental resources to kind of flesh that out. We use picture books and we use literature. So all of our literature picks for this year go along with our history. Now next spring, we're going to change that and our literature will go along with our science, which we've never done before and I'm so excited about. But for this year, it's all history. So to start with, for our spine, we are using Story of the World. Now Story of the World is a 4-volume set that starts with the ancient times, the Middle Ages, early modern, and then the modern era. And we are in the Middle Ages. We actually started this maybe March. I think we started it in March. So we did the first third of this last semester, and we've got the last 2/3 to go for this fall. I'm hoping to finish it this fall. It may be next semester before we're done, but we're gonna try to get through it this fall. So we are right in the middle currently of Knights and Castles, which is awesome and my favorite. This is just a great resource. This is written in story form. It's very interesting. It's not boring. It's not at all like a textbook. And we love Story of the World. Then to go with it, this is the Story of the World activity guide. We used this the first year when we were doing ancients. This last semester, we were using the Build Your Library curriculum, so I didn't buy this and we really ended up missing it. So I bought it for this semester and we're really glad to have it back. This is just great. It has for each chapter encyclopedia references, and it has a few different encyclopedias. The one we use is the Usborne Encyclopedia of World History. It will tell you for each chapter what pages in that go along with Story of the World. And it has review questions, narration prompts. It has all sorts of like activities. I don't know if you can see that very well. Activity ideas, arts and craft ideas. And then the back is all activity pages. That's coloring pages. It has map work, games. It's all really well done. So we do like one map work a week, one coloring sheet a week, and then sometimes the other things. They had a word search this week, which my oldest son loves word searches. Sometimes they'll have crossword puzzles. So just tons of ideas in here for adding to your history curriculum. And then as I said, one of our main supplemental resources is our Encyclopedia of World History. We love this. If you're not familiar with these, one of the great things about them is they have internet links. So my son will look at the pages and then he gets on the computer for computer lab and goes to their website, and they'll have YouTube videos or sometimes historical museum websites or what are some of the other things? Art museums that you can tour and actually see pieces of work. So many cool links for these. We love this resource. Another resource that we really love is the Timelines of World History book, because we try really hard to keep a timeline of our own, but we're not very good at it. So with this one, I'll show you an example. You can open up to a time period. So this is 1250 to 1299, and it will just show you what was going on all over the world. It has Southern and Western Europe, Northern and Eastern Europe, Africa, the Middle East, Asia, and the Americas. So you can see this beautiful picture of how every continent was developing over time. It's really fascinating. So we pull this out once a week or so and just kind of look at whatever time period we're studying and see what else was going on. We do try to keep our own timeline. Like I said, I use the Homeschool in the Woods timeline, and I also use their PDF printout so we can print out stickers, and we just put, as we study things, we will put those on there. But they're not a perfect match with Story of the World. And as I said, we're not great at using this resource right now, but we're working on it. A resource we love is A Child Through Time. This book is so cool. This stays in our book basket. And let me show you an example. You can see there's children from different time periods and different cultures, and it's obviously a fictional child dressed up in costume, but they tell you what it would be like to be a child during that time. And they show you kind of a timeline of that region, and what were the clothes like, what would they have done, what would their school be like. And it's really fun. My kids love this book. They love when we pull this one out to read. So those are our spine and main resources. Then we have our picture books. And a couple of these we've already read this year. So we have this year The Making of a Knight, which is a really fun one. Castle, this book is awesome. I was worried this was going to be really dry. It's all black and white and kind of wordy. This is so great. This is an architecture book, and it is fascinating. We learned so much about castles from this book. We love this book. We have Genghis Khan, whom we will be studying, I think, in 2 weeks. You Wouldn't Want to Explore with Marco Polo. These are really fun, this little series. My kids like this series. We also have You Wouldn't Want to Be Sick in the 16th Century. Joan of Arc, we'll be studying her later this year. A Medieval Feast. You Wouldn't Want to Sail with Christopher Columbus. And The Bard of Avon, the story of William Shakespeare. We're going to dive into Shakespeare later this year. We've already read earlier this year a children's version of A Midsummer's Night Dream, and we're going to learn quite a bit more about him as the year progresses. Then our literature picks, as I said, they all go with our history this year. So right now we're reading King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. Oh, I love this book. This is so fun. It's so wonderful to share these kind of stories with my kids. We keep our literature books in our book basket, and we're reading a story or 2 stories from this every day. We're also reading Castle Diary. And then our other literature picks for the year will be The Castle in the Attic. This looks really exciting. I've never read this book. Where the Mountain Meets the Moon. This was a Build Your Library pick. Several of these were actually. This one was as well. The Mad Wolf's Daughter. The Apprentice, which is about a 13-year-old who is an apprentice to a painter in Renaissance Florence. I'm excited about that one. And finally, The Shakespeare Stealer. Like I said, diving hard into Shakespeare later. This one, he was sent to steal a play from Shakespeare himself. So that is how we do history. We do our spine, we do our resources and our encyclopedia, and then we do lots of literature and read-alouds. And if we have access to the library, I'm sure we will do a lot more, but this is what we have just in case we don't have anything else. This is what we're gonna get to do. So anyway, that's how we do history. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you soon.